We're in a patriarchal culture, and this culture has a masculine bias, and not that it's good or bad, it's just the way it is. And it is actually in the process of changing now and becoming perhaps more egalitarian. But in growing up in that culture, that affects us subconsciously and our programming in ways that we're not even aware of. And how now, moving toward more of an egalitarian society, we can become more integrated and whole in being all of who we are. And yes, the striving and the achieving and the courage and the action is super important, but so are the times to have the discretion to know when to rest and be receptive and to back off and to use your intuition and to have more compassion, not only for yourself, but others. In today's busy world, how can we find the inspiration, knowledge, and energy to live a healthy and empowered life? If we balance and harmonize our mind, exercise our body, live according to the laws of nature, and connect to spirit, can we find a way to heal, become our authentic self, and live our purpose with love? I am your hostess, Amy Fournier, and welcome back to Awakening Aphrodite. Hey, you know how picky I am, right? I have very high standards in my life, and that's why I'm so thrilled to share with you a company that not only has high standards and values that align with mine, but also makes products that promote health and do what they're supposed to do, and they taste great. This company is Paleo Valley. I love their pasture-raised turkey sticks and their apple cider vinegar complex. And I even love their protein bars. Oh my gosh. I mean, forewarning, they're totally delicious and you might completely get addicted like I am. But they're worth it because you can enter my coupon code AmyFournier10 at checkout and save 10%. Just have fun shopping there. You can rest assured that everything there is healthy, is made with integrity, and you're getting what you think you're getting, which you can't always be assured of in this day and age, unfortunately. But don't worry, I gotcha. Please let me know your favorites. You can find me at FitAmyTV on Instagram, and of course on YouTube at Awakening Aphrodite Podcast. Welcome back to Awakening Aphrodite with Amy Fournier. The show is about helping you to be healthy and fit in mind, body, and spirit, as well as harmonize your masculine and feminine energy, tap into your intuition, your true source of power, and awaken your authentic self. Today, we are going to bring back a classic, a very popular episode and a very important episode of Awakening Aphrodite on the heroine's journey. It's episode way back, number 46. Hopefully you've already heard it, but just in case you didn't, or you might need a refresher, maybe something's going on in your life where you need to maybe hear it again. And you know how it is sometimes you pick up a book for a second time and you pick up something new that you didn't get on the first time. Well, this is such an important message because the heroine's journey is unique for women, unlike the hero's journey, which we've all heard about. It's the story of Luke Skywalker and the story of David and Goliath and all these major male heroes that we know in our culture. But what about the women? Where are the heroines, ladies? Because they're out there. Why aren't we hearing about them? Well, don't worry. I'm sharing the good news with you, and hopefully you'll share it with other women who need to have heroines and people to look up to and role models and to be inspired by their courage, their tenacity. Because the thing with the heroine's journey is they always face problems. It's called the descent. They always have deficiencies, and then they have to go into the underworld, which is basically the dark night of the soul or your personal hell, whether it be an illness, like maybe cancer diagnosis or loss of a marriage, God forbid the death of someone you love in your family, or an injury, or some kind of really bad thing that happens to you. And you have to climb yourself out of the despair and grow and learn and become better by that challenge. And then you ascend in your evolution, not only physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well, which is really what this whole game is about, right, my friends? So the heroine's journey,
What about like Rosa Parks? She's a heroine. Or Susan B. Anthony. And then, of course, we have Wonder Woman. We all know Wonder Woman, right? The goddess Diana, also known as Artemis. And by the way, if you want to find out more about that amazing warrior archetype, check out episode 196 of the show. I do a little Fast Friday talking about Artemis, who happens to be one of my personal favorite goddesses that I relate to very much. And maybe you do too. And by the way, if you're interested in these goddesses and learning more about these archetypes, you might want to hop over on my email list, because did you know I'm going to be giving you a new online course? That's right. I'm working really hard behind the scenes. It's pretty much a culmination of my whole life's work, understanding how to be a fully integrated, fulfilled, on fire woman through every stage of your life. And we talk about the 4 primary stages of a woman's life. And we go into these archetypes that can help guide us, to help us understand ourselves better and be more happy and fulfilled. Sound good? Yeah, sounds good to me too. I've really enjoyed putting it together. I've learned a lot. And because it's helped me so much, it's why I'm putting this course together, so it can help you. And again, if you want to hop on that email list, it's over on my website. It's in the show notes, but it's pretty simple. It's just my name, amyfournier.com. And just jump on the email list and you'll be notified when that course is ready. So enjoy the heroine's journey, whether it be for your second time or your first time. And I'll see you on the other side.
Hello and welcome back to the show. In today's episode, I want to share with you something called the heroine's journey. I don't know if you heard of the famous story of the mythological hero's journey, made famous and coined by Joseph Campbell. And it is the monomyth, which is basically a template that all human being psychics are said to be patterned after. And it is basically the blueprint for the quest in the human being's soul's evolution, the journey of our lives. And what happened was Joseph Campbell realized in his research that all epic tales and all great stories had similar qualities, similar characteristics of the hero would go on a quest and encounter different stages of the development of their life and all return to the same place. So he saw a lot of commonalities in the life stories of these people, and he coined the term hero's journey, because it was so common, and it has since been called the monomyth. And yes, it's called the hero's journey with the masculine term, but you know what? There's a heroine's journey too. So hee-rah, girls, here we go. So just a quick recap before I share with you the version of the heroine's journey, the female version of this mythical quest. I wanted to just recap the stages, the typical stages of the hero's journey. It can be anywhere from 3 to 12 stages, but usually it's around 8 typical stages. And it starts with the call, in that the hero feels this itching, burning itch they can't scratch, this need to venture out and conquer the dragon, if you will. And then the second stage is the threshold, or the initiation. And then the hero, the third stage, goes through challenges and then enters the abyss. And the fifth stage is the transformation. And then, which is usually when the hero realizes the skills and talents and gifts that he or she has. And that's what is followed by the sixth stage, the revelation. And then is followed by the atonement, which has to happen before the hero ultimately returns back home. And that eighth and last final stage is called the return, because the hero inevitably does a full circle emotionally and physically, and almost always returns back home. And again, this is a story. Being a myth means it transcends culture, time, gender, age. It's a common human experience, and we find it in all the great stories of our lives. It's the story of Star Wars. Luke Skywalker goes through the hero's journey. The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy goes through the hero's journey. She has the call. She crosses the threshold. She faces the challenges. She's transformed. She realizes the ruby slippers. She had it all along. And then she returns home. So all the great stories have this myth, this crisis, the adversity, the transformation, and the return. So that's a little backstory in case you weren't too familiar with what the heck the hero's journey is. But again, I wanted to share with you the female version, the heroine's journey. So I'm going to share with you a passage I found from a wonderful book called As Above, So Below, Paths to Spiritual Renewal in Daily Life. And it's by Ronald S. Miller. It has a section in it on the heroine's journey. And here we go. To dispel our culture's negative associations with the feminine, many contemporary women have emulated the male heroic journey and have achieved hard-won success in the academic and business worlds. But according to family therapist Maureen Murdoch, women have paid too high a price for their advances. Adapting to male standards of behavior in learning to live logically and efficiently, they have sacrificed their health, their dreams, their intuition, along with deep relationship to their feminine nature. To redress the imbalance that has left them scarred, broken, and empty, says Murdoch, they need a new model of the heroic journey that honors their uniqueness as women. Women do have a quest at this time in our culture, she writes, and the heroine's journey is it. It is the quest to fully embrace the female feminine nature, learning how to value themselves as women and to heal the deep wound of the feminine. It is a very important inner journey towards being a fully integrated, balanced, and whole human being. The journey to wholeness begins when women reject the feminine, as in they see the weak, passive, and independent as the feminine, and they embrace their outer heroic journey to independence and success. But at the peak of their success, however, many women feel a despair and spiritually arid, and this leads to inevitably a descent into the underworld, where they encounter the fragmented, rejected aspects of their femininity, which were sacrificed during earlier phases of the journey. Ladies, does this sound familiar? In living in the male-dominated work world, how often have we sacrificed our feminine, softer qualities, traits, intuitions, longings, desires, softness, and feelings at the effort of trying to achieve and produce and measure up and all these things, right? So this is what we're talking about here, is that we have sacrificed our feminine nature in our effort to adjust and achieve and do something in the world. So this is a journey back to being fully balanced and integrated and ultimately whole. So the descent, unfortunately, is often accompanied with the loss of significant relationships and sometimes even life-threatening accidents or illnesses, and this can bring women face to face with confusion, grief, rage, and despair. Describing this densely dark and unforgiving time, Murdoch writes, "A woman moves down into the depths to reclaim the parts of herself that split off when she's rejected the mother and shattered the mirror of the feminine. To make this journey, a woman puts aside her fascination with the intellect and games of the cultural mind and acquaints herself, perhaps for the first time, with her body, her emotions, her sexuality, her intuition, her images, her values, and her mind. This is what she finds in the depths." So after the period of descent, the heroine begins to heal the mother-daughter split, which Murdoch calls the deep feminine wound. Besides working on the relationship with her personal mother, she may heal herself through acts of divine ordinariness. And this is something that's actually very vogue right now, talking about making the ordinary sacred, and your spirituality is how you do everything, right? It's not just like going to church or praying or doing your meditation, but rather in the mundane little things of every day, in how you wash the dishes, how you drive the kids to school, how you fold the laundry. And the term is called finding the sacred in the ordinary. And here Murdoch is referring to it as divine ordinariness. So it's seeing the sacred in the everyday. She also may bond with other women through female rites of passage at women's gatherings and vision quests, or establish a relationship to the inner feminine through rediscovering ancient images of female deities. In the final stages of the heroine's journey, the heroine integrates feminine values with the masculine skills she initially learned. This